Well, Herschel, everybody calls you by your first name, so
Yes.
thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Appreciate it very much. Let's begin at the beginning. Why would you be a better U.S. Senator than Raphael Warnock?
Well, I would be a better U.S. Senator because I care about this country. It seems that right now, Senator Warnock doesn't care about this country. They seem to be putting America second. And when this world is in better shape when America's lead, right now we're not the leaders. And you see the policies he's voting for, which doesn't connect with Georgia and doesn't connect with the United States of America. And people don't want to admit that almost 98% he voted right along with Biden. And that's to get rid of our energy. We're not energy independent no more. Look at the economy the way it is. Well, I do know about creating jobs. I know about the economy. I know about those things. So the reason I'll be a better senator because I care.
So you think that Senator Warnock doesn't care?
Well, he can't care if he's not doing the right thing for American people or for the Georgians. Right now, when you have gas prices the way they are right now, people can't afford to buy milk. They can't afford to buy eggs. And you see the crime rate. What has happened to the crime? And was that not the party that created defund the police? Well, that didn't work, and we found that out. Those things that are foundation things that we should hold true to the country we are today.
Okay. I want to talk about policy,
yes.
Plenty about policy, but I do want to ask you, you've been very open about your struggles with mental illness over your life. You wrote a book about it in 2008. Are you receiving any treatment now for this dissociative identity disorder, or is that all?
No, that's all done, and you don't need to, and that's why I tell people. I think one thing I told people is I've been open about it, and I was open about it, 14 years ago, but I try to move that stigma. I think right now people want to continue to bring it up, and I said that's one thing I can do, is I'm going to be an advocate when I get to Washington on mental health. We're having a problem in this country. When I go around the state talking to people, even in our law enforcement, our hospitals, they say one of the main problems they're having is mental health. They're not equipped for it. Well, that's what I've been doing for the last, 16, 17 years. I've been preparing myself, and I'm ready. And I said, guys, they're going to bring a lot of things. But I said, I'm ready to do it because most every family in America may have had a family member or know someone that have suffered from some type of mental illness that they weren't aware of, it, they didn't understand. And that's what I want to do is help people because they're going to help a lot of people out there that are suffering right now.
Okay. Well, Agriculture Commissioner Gary Black is bringing it up, one of your Republican opponents in the primary. He says that if you win the nomination, you can't win in the fall because they're going to come after you with the allegations of domestic violence and all that sort of thing that it, in his estimation, is disqualifying. How do you respond to that?
What you respond to that. When you're losing, you got to come up with something. And right now, I think Gary, right now, you see what's happening. He's not doing too well. And so he want to come up with something. Right now, the best one for that Senate seat is Herschel Walker, and everybody knows that. The polls are showing it. My fundraising is showing it. Everybody is out there, and I think come May the 24th, people are going to let him know that. And I try to invite him also. I invited him to my celebration, not celebration party, but for the Republican celebration party, whether it was him or whoever win this seat. I said, guys, we got to come together. But it doesn't seem he want to be together because it's an ego trip. Well, there's no ego in my book. I've already won a lot of things. My thing is right now, this country is hurting. Georgians are hurting. And we got to come together to win that seat back because we got to get this country back together.
Okay. He certainly does want to win. That's partly why he's bringing this up. But back in 2008, your ex-wife Cindy told ABC that you pointed a gun at her head and threatened to kill her. That's serious business. What should voters make of that?
Well, what they should make of that is you got to ask Cindy today. She and I are the best of friends. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Right now, I think people can bring up all the past, but the past is the past. Right now, Herschel Walker has done things that have blown people's mind. And I said, what is that blown people's mind is I built a company, one of the largest minority-owned companies in the United States of America. And that's after they said I had a mental health problem. I went out and I helped military servicemen and women, now about 4,500 to 4,900 every year for almost 16 years. And I said, guys, these are things, when you get knocked down, you get up. And that's one thing I think a lot of my opponents don't realize, that you got to be willing to fight. You got to be willing to get knocked down. You got to be willing to take punches, and you got to be going forward. You got to keep moving forward. Well, they can't do it. And I'm able to touch subjects that they can't do either. And I said, guys, that's what makes me a better opponent than they are. And the people are telling you that. I think everyone is telling them that as well. When you see the polls, you see my fundraising, and they're a little mad. They're angry about it. Well, it's nothing to get angry about. And I'm like, guys, I wouldn't have got in this race if I thought you guys can beat Senator Warnock. I would not have got in this race, but I know you can't. Well, everybody know Herschel Walker can.
Okay. Now, you are certainly one of the most popular athletes in Georgia history. There's no question about it. You've got a phenomenal life story. But in some instances, you've exaggerated that story. You said that you graduated from UGA.
I never said that. They said that, and I said that's what you got to remember.
Okay.
I never have said that statement, not one time. I've said that I studied criminal justice at UGA, and I think that's one of the things that people got to say. People want me to answer to people that are losing in the race. They want me to answer those questions. Well, is that fair to me? No, what they need to answer is what they can do for this country, which I'm telling them I can do it, and I can do it better than they can.
Okay. You're a world-class competitor. Has it been difficult not to compete with these guys in the debate and let them have the stage to themselves?
Not at all, because the thing is one of the things I said when I decided to run is I want to get into all 159 counties, let the people meet Herschel Walker, because just like you said, everyone knows me as this football player. People don't know that I've built a successful business. People do not know that I sit on a publicly traded board. People don't know that I've worked with the military for almost 15 to 18 years. I've been working with the military. People don't know that. I want people to know that. When I go to a debate that they're not even getting people to even watch, what am I going to get out of that? Absolutely nothing. So they want me to help promote them. My thing is they need to get out and do what I'm doing. Meet the people. Get the people to know who they are. And then instead of they want me to promote them and make them, give them a name. Well, I'm not going to do it. Right now, they got to get out and do the work. What I mean by that is raise the money. Now, all I hear them talking about, raising money. You see that. They're not doing that. Let's be honest. Then you got to meet the people. They're not doing that. Well, I'm doing it. I'm out meeting people every day. I'm taking questions. They say I'm not doing interviews. Yeah, well, you look at, I've done probably twice as many interviews as all of them put together. They say I'm not meeting the people. I met with probably twice as many people they met with. So I'm doing everything it takes to win that seat, and they're complaining because they're losing in the polls. And I say, guys, one thing that you need to realize, do what I'm doing. Don't worry about the polls. Go campaign like you're 20 points down, and maybe then you're going to be doing the right thing.
No, they're really more like 50 points down.
Well, you know, I think right now, and that, one of the things I want to tell them, though, don't look at the polls right now. In the last elections, I think it could screw the polls up some. You go out and campaign, well, they are losing, but campaign as hard as you can right now, and that's what my group is doing. I got together a great team. They're working their tails off. We're working every day, going almost 12 to 15 hours a day. I don't sleep. People don't realize that. I don't sleep. I'm up all the time because I said this seat is so important. I love Georgia. Georgia people are my family. And I would talk for my mom and dad, protect your family. Right now, most of these people, they don't have trust in our elections again. They don't have trust in our elected officials that we put in Washington. Well, I sort of bring that back to them, that they can believe in something.
Okay. I will note that Kelvin King has been to all 159 counties, according to him and his campaign. But
he started a little bit before I did too, but yeah. Herschel's still catching up to him.
Right. Let's talk about inflation. I think that's probably the #1 concern of
yes.
voters right now. What's the proper government response to high energy and food prices?
Well, the proper response, they're blaming other people. They're blaming Putin. This inflation was going before this war in Ukraine even started, so it's not Putin's fault. And then they blame the oil company like they're the one doing it wrong. No. We got to put the blame right back on this administration. The blame happened when he first got into office. He took away our energy independence again. He took that away. But let's go to energy independence. One of the things that they keep talking about is drilling. Well, people need to realize that we're one of the most environmental friendly drilling of anyone in the whole world. And 40% or more carbon is from these people that don't like us, that we're buying oil and gas from. They release more carbon into the air. And people talk about this Green New Deal all the time. We don't control the air, let's be honest. We don't control the air, but we got some of the cleanest air in the world is right here in the United States of America. So as we put money in cleaning our air up, our good air floats over to China, to India, who got bad air, who's not cleaning theirs up, that comes back over here. So all we're doing is throwing money at something that we can't fix. Until we can get those countries to clean their stuff up, it doesn't help us. What we need to do is take that money, put it in the border. Let's secure that border. We got to secure the border. Let's take that money, put it in our school, getting an education. give our kids an education, put that money into stopping the crime on the street. But yet we've forgotten about what this country was built on. We've forgotten about the people. And I said, guys, that's what I want to do. I serve the people, not myself. And I'm not here to get a sound bite. I'm not going to talk about my opponents because people don't want to know about that. What I'm going to talk about is what I can do for you.
Okay, you mentioned Putin. Is the U.S. doing enough to help Ukraine? Too much? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think the first thing, let's go to the first thing. They should have been more proactive than reactive. What I mean by that is they've known that something was going to happen with Ukraine. They've known that before that war happened. But yet they did nothing. Why didn't they give them weapons beforehand? Well, let's go now. They didn't do that. Well, right now we are giving them the weapons. We're giving them the weapons. We're giving them the type of weapons to really help themselves. And the next question I would ask, and I think all Americans need to ask, are Ukraine getting all the money that we see, and are they getting all the weapons? Because we're giving a lot of money away that we don't have. But yet the people over here are dying. So why don't we take care of home? I'm not saying that we can't take care of them. We know we want to help. But other countries have to help as well. We just can't do it by ourselves.
Okay. You're hoping to get a seat in the U.S. Senate. The Senate has passed 41 continuing resolutions in the last 10 years. What does that say about the way our Senate works?
Well, I think what that says is people not reading what they're passing. And I think people have seen it when they start passing all these resolutions. They start passing it just like the infrastructure bill that people say I don't want to talk about. You got to read more through it, be more thorough with when you're reading it. Because I said, guys, we want to look at things that's going to help this country. And I said, guys, when I get into Washington, the first thing I'm going to look at is this beneficial to Georgia? Is it going to help Georgia? And then if it's not going to help Georgia, it's not going to help this here, I'm going to say no. Then if it's going to help the United States, then I'm going to say no. Because I said, guys, right now, the people we have supposed to be serving are the United States citizens. And it doesn't seem that we're doing that right now. So all the most of the resolutions they're passing, are they helping us? Are they helping us? And I said, guys, that's what we have to do. We have to do things that's going to help the people here.
Your 5 opponents in the Republican primary all say that they favor a ban on abortion in Georgia without exceptions. What do you say?
The same. I'm for life, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm a Christian. I believe in life. I believe from the womb to the tomb. That's where I've always believed. And I've been a Christian. When I became a Christian, my mom is a minister. I grew up in the church, and I said there's no exception because you never know about that baby. I think what we need to do is put money we need to put money into adoption programs. We need to put money into single fathers and single mothers, and not just let people go out and have abortion. My opponent, look what he's a pastor. No one is questioning him about his belief on abortion.
Well, he's been very clear. He calls himself a pro-choice pastor.
Well, what is that though? What is a pro-choice pastor when in the Bible, is one of the 10 Commandments is thou shalt not kill? So did he believe in the 10 Commandments? Why is nobody not ever questioning him?
Well, I think he is being questioned, and it's a very complicated issue. Obviously, there are many Christians in the United States. Have you asked
him, does he believe in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill?
Of course. Yeah.
You have? What did he say?
I know that you acknowledge that this is a difficult issue. I mean,
most
people in this state
identify
as
Christian. But it's a very touchy issue.
Let me finish just for a second.
Yes.
I mean, I'm listening to you, and I totally get it. But 68% of Georgians, most of whom are church-going, think that abortion should be legal with restrictions. Now, I mean, nobody wants to have third trimester abortions, but if there's a ban, and I'm not advocating one way or the other, but if there's a ban, then poor women, some of them, are going to either have back alley abortions or travel hundreds of miles to try to get it legally, right?
Well, if that's what they're going to do, Herschel Walker is going to stay with what I said, that I believe in life, because you never know what that child would be, and I would continue to believe in life because I was raised as a Christian. I was raised to believe in the Lord Jesus. And that's what's great about the United States of America. You can have that belief in your religion, whatever religion that is, whereas other countries you don't. And that's the reason I say I will fight for all the rights that this country has given every citizen in this country. And I just don't believe in abortion.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you about the border. You mentioned it. Migrants have a legal right to petition for asylum in the U.S. What's the right way to handle this search?
They got to come in legally, though. You said migrants, they got to come in legally and stuff, and that's the problem. They're not coming in legally. And at the same time, remember all those congressman and senator went to the border, a couple of months ago, and they made a big stink about it. It was awful. It was so bad. Everybody was so bad. But what did they ever do? They did absolutely zero. We continue to just kick this can down the road. We've done it for years. We put people in office that has been in office for years, but we're still trying to solve the same thing we're trying to solve when Jimmy Carter was the president. When are we going to get anything done? Well, that border should have been secured. Right now, we don't know who's coming in.
With a wall or what?
Well, a wall work. Wall work. I'm not saying that a wall is going to be the end all, do all, because a wall is going to work in some places. Some places not going to be a wall. You got to do other things, but we got to secure the border. But think about this: a wall we have is to keep people from coming in. Other countries have walls to keep people from leaving.
Right, that's true.
Well, that means that this is a great country, and we got to protect this country, because with people coming over from the border, we haven't vetted them. We haven't vetted those people. If you're a terrorist, where are you going to come into the United States of America? Go to Mexico, just cross the border, and then all you got to do, you can get caught, and they're going to let you go free. You know, you can't do that. When they start giving phones to people coming over, all the things that they're doing right now seem to be putting America second. And that's what I said at the beginning of our conversation. I said, when Americans lead, the whole world is doing a little bit better. Right now, we don't know who the leader is. We really don't know who the leader is. And you hear all your great politicians stand in front of you, and they say it all the time. There's peace through strength, but yet they're giving our strength away because they won't support our military. They're giving our strength away because they don't want to support our police. Well, we got to put money and start supporting our police. Not just support them, we got to have their backs. And I said, guys, if we don't get this right, we won't recognize this country tomorrow.
Now, one of the things that certainly motivated President Trump in giving endorsements to various candidates has been whether or not they accept his claim that the election was stolen. Do you think the election was stolen?
Well, I think reporters say that. I don't know whether President Trump said it, because he never said that to me. I'm not arguing with
he
it.
says it over and over again.
No. He has never. I've never heard President Trump ever say that. But I'm not saying the president. But everyone knows something happened in the election, because Stacey Abrams hasn't conceded to Brian Kemp, has he? So do you think something happened? She thinks something happened because she hadn't conceded.
You're right, she didn't concede.
So the thing that I say...
It was not something that she brought up
one of the things,
on a regular basis for a year and a half.
Could I say this? And one of the things
Please.
people don't know about President Trump and I, we've been friends forever. That he better has been one of my people to endorse me, because I've known him forever. But he also know Herschel Walker don't dance and sing for nobody. I never have. And that I would disagree with him. But in that instant right there, I said, guys, there's people that they're unhappy with the election. Do you know what happened? I think something happened. I don't know what it was, but I said something happened because people are angry. But what I've told people today is, I said, guys, quit being angry. Get out and vote. The most precious things you have. One of the best things that Governor Kemp did was SB 202. To get rid of all those drop boxes from all over everywhere and put one in one county that's going to be manned. Now people are going to be able to see it, or you're going to have an ID to vote. Well, think about that. Did you do a report on whether a person of color got an ID to vote? Instead of being proactive, why don't they be reactive? If you don't have an ID, you got no way of life. You can't have a bank account. You can't have anything. So why would people not out trying to help people get an ID? Instead of saying, oh, you all this. Guys, they throw these things in your face to get votes, get people angry, get people separated. Well, I want to bring people together. In the Bible, our Heavenly Father doesn't talk about the color of your skin. Remember, they mentioned that also. You remember Martin Luther King, which is our Senator Warnock, talks about separation. Right. Dr. King said, it's not the color of your skin, but the content of your character. Nobody even believes that anymore. Right now, they're trying to make kids feel bad because of the color of their skin. That's the place you want to live at? I said, guys, that's not the place I want to live. And they asked me, why am I running? I'm running because I love America. I'm running because, America has given me that America's dream. And I'm going to fight for everyone. I don't care whether you're white, black. If you're a Martian and you're a United States citizen, I'm going to fight for you too. Because you deserve the right to have that dream.
Herschel Walker, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your time very much.
You're welcome now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.